Get ready, America. Up next is the fastest growing
Good morning.
podcast in
Welcome
the
to the
nation,
Sports Parade
the Sports
Magazine.
Parade
Not
Magazine
the daily
podcast,
podcast. Today
heard
we have a
daily
new
by
feature.
tens
It's
of
going to be our
thousands.
video blast. Our
Hosted by the
video
one and
blast where
only
we take
Mark
one
Clark,
topic and we break it
the
down.
man with the
So
New
you know
Orleans
New Orleans
accent
accent. I'm
who
your
gives
boy,
it to
your
you
host,
straight
Mark
with no
Clark, publishing
chaser.
editor of Sports Parade
Damn, I
Magazine.
love that
And
Mark
like I
Clark.
said, I always get it to you
Give
straight
him a
with
call,
no chaser.
713
This is going to be a new
553
feature. So in addition to iTunes,
6370.
where you can pull up
Email
the Sports
him,
Parade
Mark
Magazine
Clark at
podcast,
sportsparademagazine.com, or follow him on Twitter
smartphones,
at Mark's
computers. We
Words
also have a
or
phone
at
feature.
Sports Parade
Now you
Mag,
can go to YouTube,
or
the
listen
Sports
via
Parade
any phone.
Magazine channel.
Simply
YouTube, the
dial
Sports Parade Magazine channel. There you can listen to this
619-550-0516,
podcast, or
and at the
you can
prompt
hear this
number
new
4.
video
There's
daily
no better way to
blast that we're
advertise or
gonna be
hit your
doing.
target
We're
market
all
than with the
next
Sports
week at the
Parade
Super Bowl,
Magazine
because that's
Daily
where we're at. We're headed
Podcast.
to the Super Bowl
Call
in New Orleans. Get that Sunday broadcast and get a lot of seats.
713-553-6370 for
Of
rates.
course, be there
And
for
now,
me today.
without
But
further
today I want to
ado,
talk on the
the
Sports
man,
Parade Magazine
my
video
main man,
blast live.
he's a bad
I
man,
want to talk about
Mark
none other than
Clark.
Manny Te'o. Manny Te'o. And if no one has heard that, if you've been sleeping under a rock, Manny Te'o is this kid from Notre Dame, All-American, Heisman Trophy runner-up, sensational scorer, but it came to light that the kid was either duped or, as they say, catfish. That's the new term. Catfish for being hustled, scammed, whatever you want to call it, into thinking he had a girlfriend when he didn't. But it was for 3 years. Now, a few topics I want to go back on the timeline for this Manny Te'o. Notre Dame player timeline. Since he's been telling everyone in the media, anyone ever listened, that the love of his life, his girlfriend, his 3 years on Notre Dame's campus, that he's grown up from 19 to 22. This is the love of his life. He's a Samoan and he converted to be a Mormon. And I say those things because I'm going to get into it a little bit later. But this was the love of his life. Then, if you fast forward back to the football season, early on in the football season, his grandmother died tragically. That's tragic when you lose your grandmother. But also, he said on the same day that his grandmother died, lo and behold, his girlfriend died. I mean, that's just tragic. He said he was going to play for her. He was pointing up to the sky. It was all of these things that he said, all of these things that he said that inspired him. Then, allegedly, on December 3rd, follow me with the timeline, on December 3rd, he says, well, I get a call, the phone is from my girlfriend, I know she's dead, but it's a woman, and the woman says that this was all a scam, this was a hoax, there never was who you thought was your girlfriend. Okay, December 3rd. December 10th, at Heisman Trophy ceremony leading up to the Heisman, he says, you know what, my girlfriend is what inspired me. She was the love of my life. I still live and breathe for her, and if this award comes to me, it'll be because of my inspiration I got from her. Mind you, he found out on December 3rd it was a hoax. His world was rocked and shocked. December 26th, a couple of weeks before the bowl game, the national title, he has his coach and his whole story, the story of the scam. His AD puts the Notre Dame reputation on the line and his own reputation by getting out there and saying he's crying, and I've never met anyone so innocent. I've never met a kid that's so gullible and naive, and the saddest part is that he'll never be able to trust again. Are you kidding me? He's 22 years old, a grown-ass man. You're telling me, you're going to sit there and tell me, as an AD, a 60-some-year-old man, that you've never met anyone more innocent and naive than a 22-year-old man? A 22-year-old man? Do you not have any kids? Do you never have grandkids? Have you ever been to a kindergarten class or a daycare center? That's people that are naive. Not a man. Doesn't address you. Well, if you found out on December 3rd this was a lie, why did you tell national reporters at a Heisman Trophy ceremony that you were still grieving the loss of your girlfriend? And people say, well, maybe he was just embarrassed. He was a liar, no matter what. At the very least, he was a liar. Whether he was complicit in a scam to get sympathy votes or just sick, who knows? But how can you trust this guy going forward? And I'm going to say something. It's not going to be about race, but it is about classism. You know, how many times have I heard over the past few days regarding this story from national media that says, well, he's a Mormon. And what does that mean, he's a Mormon? That's like you're trying to hold that religion higher than other religions? Whether he's a Baptist, whether he's a Catholic, whether he's an Orthodox Jew, whether he's a Witness. What does that have to do with it that he's a Mormon? That means he's a Mormon, that somehow, some way, he should have known over a 3-year period that who he was talking to was not a real person? I mean, that's that. Several times since '09, when he started telling this story, he would tell anybody that would listen about it. He'd fall asleep with his girlfriend. She had a tragic car accident where she almost died. And they'd have the phone in ICU to listen to him sleep because the sound of his voice was her. She allegedly was a Stanford student, volleyball player, All-American, but you never went to see her. She's in the hospital. She's lay dying, near death from a car accident. You never go to see her? Really? That's the route you want to go with it. That's what you want to go. Then you fast forward. He dies on the same day as your grandmother, but she's in the hospital for leukemia. You never went to see her. You didn't go to the funeral. You never physically saw this woman, but you told everybody since '09 that when you first met her, when you first held her hand, when you used to go on walks with her. That was a lie. So now they're trying to make this boy, this grown-ass 22-year-old man into some kind of choir boy. He's going to be doing an interview later this week with Katie Couric, where he's going to say, well, it's not just him that was duped. The father and the mother will be on that crying too. We all used to conference call and do prayer vigils and prayer services. Don't try to clean this up after $1 million fixers like Scandal. You've gotten with $1 million people that their job is to clean up messes, to make it seem plausible, to make it seem like it makes sense. If it smells like a skunk and it looks like a skunk, it's a skunk. It's not a rose. It's not sweet smelling. This boy is either a pathological liar or he's mentally unstable. You take your pick. A lot of it reminds me of Ricky Williams with the social anxiety disorder. But anybody that thinks that any NFL team out there, any NFL fan, if you want this boy, this man on your team, you better think long and hard, baby. Because guess what? You headed for disaster with him as an NFL player because something ain't right with this boy. Don't let anybody try to say that he was just a good kid. This is a straight up lie. Well, that's been our first video blast. Monday before the Super Bowl, Monday after the championship games, we're going to do our Sports Magazine podcast. Remember, you can go to YouTube now, Sports Parade Magazine channel, YouTube. And we hope you enjoyed this. And remember, go to sportsparademagazine.com. You can pull up this video blast every day. You also can pull up all of the archive of the Sports Parade Magazine podcast. We want to thank everyone for making Sports Parade Magazine podcast the fastest growing podcast in the country, now over 25,000 listeners. I do thank you. Once again, I'm Mark Clark, and I give it to you straight with no chaser, baby. And we'll be right back at you, talking some more in the world of sports tomorrow.